You had a article, and in it says, quote, "Scaled organizational agility is the future of work," and is a talk and discussion with you, Karl Smith, regarding agile transformation. So if you don't mind, I want to break that down into some of the basic blocking and tackling for our listeners. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions here. If you can just define those for us, that would be great. So when people say business agility, what does that mean? What does business agility mean exactly?
So business agility is the taking of the core concepts of Agile as it once related to software development and absorbing them into the business ways of working. Essentially, taking in the core and common cadences and behaviors, the activities and ceremonies, and also the expectation of teamwork over individuality, which is kind of quite a dramatic change for businesses who are very much driven by individual capabilities, now looking instead to establish teamwork.
So then, Karl, what is Agile?
So this is a problematic statement. What is Agile? So Agile, in its barest sense, is a set of principles around how to work. I think that the better question is, why is Agile? Agile is because working had become so problematic and so bogged down in bureaucracies that actually working was becoming almost impossible.
Yeah. Interesting. So, Karl, then the part 3 of this first question, what is the future of work then? How do you define quote unquote future of work, which over the last few years here seems to become more and more of it's certainly much more than a buzzword, but it's an idea and a concept that's relatively new, correct?
Not really. I mean, I think there's always been this notion of future of work. We had the Industrial Revolution, which changed the future of work from being localized in your town into being localized as a center of resources. Then we had a digital revolution that moved us outside of physicality. And now we're looking at a revolution around how people work in general. So that which is a kind of a combination of both of those.
Sure.
Where once we had to go to a place to work, now we need to be connected to places to work. And as the world has become globalized, so humans are also becoming globalized, but through digital engagements.
Sure. So then, Karl, what is, quote, new ways of working?
So new ways of working is really about fundamentally changing what work is, as well as how to do it. In a previous world, before COVID, we would have had departments and skill sets working through a very linear process, whereas now it's very much focused around how do we get to the point of value as quickly as possible. In Agile, we do that through something called value slicing, very quickly determining where the value is in the requirement for the work. And then the other piece is something called economic ordering, so that you order the work in terms of the pieces that deliver economic value quickly. So instead of a massive program lasting 3 years where you deliver something that's magnificent, that makes your business, you actually start delivering in 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months, something that shows people that your intent and your capability is to deliver the massive program, but actually now your shareholders get return on investment, your customers get a better experience, and there's a continuous improvement into that magnificent final delivery.
Yeah. So it's really taking the approach of continuous improvement over time is really the focus, with the end game being the primary objective. But along the way, you show the incremental changes.
And also the ability to adapt. I mean, the magnificent final delivery in 3 years' time that everyone thought was the thing that people wanted may not be what you get.
Yeah.
And by being incremental in producing value, you find out what customers feel about that value. Is it the value that they are looking for? And is it delivered in the way that they want to engage with it? Because actually the customer is a moving target. Yeah. So we need to think in much shorter term values for our delivery to customers and long-term values for our delivery to shareholders.
And hence that allows the organization to be more agile. That's
Yes.
the idea of the whole process with business agility.